Hello there and welcome to another Elite FPL video with myself, Stevo. I'm not going to lie, I was going to make this a members video, but I thought, nah, I'm gonna make this YouTube algorithm work because me and Jason are frauds. And today's topic is about last night's stream and how much I enjoyed it and how much other individuals enjoyed it. What, one person? Yeah. And talking about wildcards and potentially me wildcarding. I don't think Dale even watches these videos anymore. But that's the only reference. He's the only one that understand that reference. You're aware you're recording this? Yeah. I've just actually recorded a Total Stevo podcast slamming the YouTube world. I love annoying people. It's hilarious. So yeah, last night's stream was very, very enjoyable. I said to Jason afterwards that you know a stream's good when 2.5 hours vanishes. I know there will be people, Natasha, that hate the long streams and everything, but streams are streams. You take any streaming platform, whether it's fantasy football, whether it's computer games, whether it's music, whether it's computer games, whether it's computer games. If there's a talking point or if there's something to watch, because it's live, people just tune in. And that's the thing, you see, with live streaming, people will be constantly tuning in left, right and centre. Now, for some people, they enjoy the long streams because they're bored out of their minds, they're out on a walk, they're at home, they're doing whatever, and they're just listening in. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, it was Chelsea versus West Ham versus Chelsea, sorry, and I always listen in, usually into Mark Goldbridge, because he normally covers the Sunday afternoon games and various other games, right? And I noticed Llama was live, and I was like, oh, that's a pleasant surprise. Click on that instead. Him and Sean were streaming for what? I think it was 2 hours and 11 minutes, I think it was total. Not going to lie. I went out for a walk and I wish they were continuing streaming. And there are other people like that as well, where they're listening into something live, like Dally Pool's a prime example. They're listening into something live while doing something else. So in Dally Pool's case, throwing the old darts. Doing online darts. Virtual darts, whatever it's bloody called. That's what he's doing. And I'm telling you now, there will be, like I said, when it's live, people enjoy the experience because it's an interactive experience. People feel part of the show. Okay, admittedly, me and Jason, we find it quite difficult now to be going through the chat because there is quite an influx of chat. Yes, we still address a lot of the comments, but because of the phone-ins, you know, we're concentrating on the call rather than having to go through what the individual's saying. And to be completely blunt with you, most of the people that are talking in the chat, it's not really conversation directed at me and Jason. It's more directed between the individuals listening in, which is fine. Like I say, whenever I'm watching a stream, I don't really comment at all. In fact, ironically, if I wasn't part of Elite FPL, but I watched Elite FPL, I would not be commenting on the YouTube at all. So I wouldn't be, ironically, I wouldn't even be part of the YouTube chat league, as a simple example. But I would probably be invited to the Rivals League because of the support I would show. Same with Llama's stream. I'd comment, what, once or twice, if necessary. Like yesterday when I commented about the fact that the history come through again for West Ham. I think that is actually the third time that they've won at home again. So the last 3 games versus Chelsea, I'm pretty certain, well, I know for fact West Ham have won at home, this is, but I'm pretty certain they've scored 3 goals as well. So I just wrote in the chat, oh, West Ham have won, the history's come through again. That's it. I'm not engaging with the two of them because there's no need. There's no point in me writing in comments that aren't really going to get addressed and they don't need to be addressed. Hence why the likes of super chats and stuff for the large content creators, and I'm not directly saying us, but even with us, it grabs the attention of that individual behind the screen or individuals behind the screen, because then they get to, because that person has sent their hard-earned money in and they want an answer to whatever they're asking. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and Podner made a point on, admittedly it was on Discord, but I told him to write on YouTube. While I found myself disagreeing with Steve-O's current FPL thoughts quite a bit, what would that be? Getting rid of Watkins. Getting rid of Watkins and Fernandes because you're a Man United fan, so you're going to be biased towards your own team. But I actually appreciated the opinion and implementation of the 5-minute buzzer on the callers, on the live callers. So I've already told Jason this, and I'll say it now. That buzzer should be really used for individuals that don't have much to say. I'm not going to lie, we do get the odd call. Well, we do get callers that basically say one-word answers, and you just... All the conversation is so biased and one-sided that it's not a conversation. It's just like, okay, well, you've got your 5 minutes done. You've had your platform. You said it. Go. But people like before we even went on air, I literally used Firetalk as a prime example of an individual who I've got such a high regard for that I don't want him to have a 5-minute buzzer. I just want him to chat shit for however long he can be bothered to chat to us for, and then cheers guys. Cheers guys. Cheers guys, thanks for having me on. See you later. Same with Alex Volo. Same with Ray. You know, they've got more to add. Whereas unfortunately there are other individuals that it's just, come on, make a statement, ask a question. It's just, well, there's nowhere we can go with this. There's no point in me and Jason hanging on for another 5 minutes to go through the same thing over and over and over. See you later. Done. We thank you for calling in. Brilliant. Thanks very much. Tell your friends about the show. See you later. But yeah, I do think that the 5-minute time limit was good. It made the show move along. Unfortunately, I had to go to sleep. Thanks for, in my opinion, improving the stream. Keep up the good work. And yeah, this is why yesterday moved so quickly. That's why 2.5 hours vanished into thin air. I mean, talking of Fire Talk, that is his team up on screen. That's his wildcard team. We'll get into that in a minute because I want to talk about that and Alex Volo slagging you both off. I always do this because basically I've just come off the back of doing a Total Steve podcast about stop supporting the ginormous content creators. They don't need your support. And again, I reiterate, this applies to any. If you enjoy the stuff, fine, but stop throwing your hard-earned money towards them. Just stop it, please. You know, why are you sending $1.99 to Expressions, Arsenal Fan TV, Mark Goldbridge? Why? To get a quick one-word answer, that's it, done, because they got literally 20, 30, 40,000 people watching them. Same in the FPL community. If you enjoy the content, fine. Like I said, I enjoy Mark. Don't get me wrong, there are certain things he says which get on my nerves, and there are certain opinions that I have, especially when he's covering Man United, I don't particularly enjoy. But on his other channel, This Is Football, I genuinely really enjoy it. Because he's not talking about Man United. There's no Man United bias. Plus, people are watching it because he's covering, for argument's sake, Man City versus Newcastle. And then if someone throws in a Man United comment, that's when you get the real, proper, full-on opinion. Yes, does he give his real, full-on opinion in the United stand? Of course he does. But when he does a live stream, I don't feel when listening to it, it's a natural reaction. I've heard his natural reactions. You can hear when he has a natural reaction. But as I've said 1,000 times, he censors himself. So unfortunately, he's got to put on a silly accent and stuff to stop him from saying things that he wants to say. That's what he's got to do. So I've heard his real reactions on the United stand. I've heard it all. You know, the real person Mark me or mark the character. The same person. That's why on This Is Football, it's a lot more organic, a lot more natural, because I get the real Mark Goldbridge. He doesn't put on a fake voice. Oh, damn it! Oh, damn it! What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Talk normally. Talk like you did the other day when you were doing Man City versus Newcastle. When you were doing Liverpool versus Chelsea. Just talk normally. Oh, bugger! Got to get that facial reaction for the Shaw. Fuck me! It's so pathetic. Yeah, and I was just talking about not supporting them, and the reason why I've just said that is because imagine one of the large, ginormous channels doing this, but this is the thing, they won't, and this is why they're successful. Because people don't realise with the very, very, very big channels, there are certain ones that literally do what I'm doing, and they're just popular because they play it safe. That's it. And plus, they're very good at what they do as well. But it's very, 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 very rare for a tiny channel like this to get to the levels of, say, to just even 10,000 subscribers. But I'm not going to lie, I'm deliberately putting this shit out on YouTube publicly because I just want to keep pushing the videos. And I do think that it gets a lot of engagement. I mean, the last video I did yesterday, the one where it was about potentially wildcarding / my thoughts on the game. Yeah, that was it. Game week 2 reaction that I did yesterday. It had like, how many comments did it have? Here we go. Let me just click on this. If it allows me to click on it. It had, I think it's like 40 odd comments. Well, I haven't got a number for it, but it just goes on and on and on. It's ridiculous. But that's the thing. It creates conversation. You know, like this individual here, Nez Keys. Anana was also extremely lucky not to come away with 0 points in the first game. After that Stonewall penalty, well, again, these things even themselves out. Rashford and Fernandes versus Nottingham Forest next. You sure you don't want to keep them for more? This is the same person. Same person. Nez Keys me or Nez Keys the character. The online YouTube account. It's same person. Extras. Again, I go back to it. You ain't going to get this from the large organisations. They've got to play it safe. I've had a comment from Podner. He says, do you think I should go Rashford or do you think I should go Jackson? Well, the data suggests... Fuck off. You sure you don't want to keep them for the next game week? After that, they have a crap fixture in the Arsenal and Brighton. And after Arsenal and Brighton. The flip side to that is that if they... Here we go. Ifs, buts, maybes. The flip side is if they do blank again and the people you want haul, you just snowball further. While carding them in early, you get to avoid the price rise, and this is exactly it. You're just doing what my brother was talking to me about regarding betting. And he was going down that fallacy route of, well, I could either cash out now for a £25 profit, or I continue and then get the full amount. Guess what? He continued for the full amount, he lost. So... it's the same in fantasy football. It's like Alex Vollo made a point on Twitter. All these hindsight merchants that come out and make out like you're an idiot. That's what happened with me. I had several comments saying that I'm a moron for benching Estupinan. Okay, Estupinan gets an assist, which was basically ego Matoma. Matoma runs through 15 different players, scores an absolute worldie of a goal. That's an assist. Well, I can account for that, can I? And then, okay, the goal, credit where credit's due. Fair enough. He was in the right place at the right time and he put the ball in the back of the net. Did he keep a clean sheet, though? Which is what all of us, as individuals, buy a defender for. other than Trent Alexander-Arnold. People don't go, oh, I'm bringing in this defender because of his attacking potential. No. You say, I'm bringing him in for the clean sheet potential, plus they've got attacking threat. But people like me have to account for the clean sheet, hence with Matty Cash, who, I reiterate, I think had potential to get attacking returns yesterday. Again, I make this point, everything was playing down the left-hand side through Digne or going through the middle to Diaby. That's all Aston Villa did. The right-hand side, where Matty Cash was avoided. In fact, there was a point where I literally said out loud, he's free. Referring to Matty Cash. He's free. Pass it to him. Pass it to him. No! You've put it to the left! And it gets intercepted. Matty Cash was completely free at that point. Completely free. No. Am I suggesting for 1 minute he was guaranteed to put a cross in or a pass in and he gets a goal? No. Am I expecting Matty Cash to get the ball to a 20-yard wonder strike and scores? No. It's the possibility. But I was happy with my decision. It goes back to Alex Follows. It goes back to Planet FPL James. It's, did your process go the way it kind of did? Yes. Well, there we are. Be happy with it. And that's why, when I saw that crap in Discord about, oh, I can't wait for Steve-O to rage, I'm not going to rage about it because the outcomes happened what I expected. If, however, Aston Villa looked absolutely abysmal and Everton won 1-0, slight difference. At that point, I have every right to rage. Mainly about Aston Villa, but they didn't. They won 4-0. As predicted by who? Yeah, me. Now, admittedly, I gave Everton a goal mainly because I was playing Matty Cash and I did that stupid, is that word again, fallacy of, well, I'm playing him, so I bet they score. Again, I make that point. Danjuma looked great, and I actually genuinely did think Everton would score once he came on. But they didn't. And I missed out on 5 points. When you look at it at that point, oh, you missed out on 5 points. That's it. Nezki saying, it is actually crazy how we all want to waste 14 million, to be honest. There has to be, what are we getting for 14 million questions asked? What I mean by that is, if you expect 14 million to be mega hauls every game, which, let's get real here, you do, well, you'd expect attacking returns every game, a minimum of a goal, average of a goal a game. Oh, in fact, this is what he says. What I mean by that is at least ticking over with one return every game. But Watkins does that for 6 million. Yes, well, I've got rid of him. When you look at Visa and Jackson, the fixtures, and add Alvarez into that, there's a case to pull the trigger, which again is true. But unfortunately, with these players, it's you ain't going to captain them because the reason why it goes back to Harbour Boy, doesn't it? The reason why they're premium players is because they get the double-digit hauls. The likes of Vissa don't. They may get like the odd double-digit haul once every 4, 5, 6 games. You ain't going to captain him. Same with Mbeumo, Matoma, Maddison, and so on and so forth. You're just going to be focusing on the likes of Saka, Rashford, Fernandes, Haaland, De Bruyne if he's ever fit. Enzo Fernandez when he becomes a fantastic attacking option for Chelsea. That's what's going to happen. And that's why, unfortunately, the likes of me and millions of others have that fear factor of, shit, Haaland's just gone and got a hat-trick against Sheffield United, but I got rid of him for Jackson, who got a goal against Luton. Kept hold of Watkins, who did nothing against Burnley. And I got Visa, who did nothing against Crystal Palace. But because they've been consistently returning over the last 3 game weeks and some of them have got good fixtures, I thought I'd take that punt. Well, it's backfired. And your captain Rashford against Nottingham Forest got a goal. And it goes back to that, God, I need to bring Haaland back in. And this is the problem. This is why I think the question is, how long do we keep Haaland for? I reiterate this point. He got 2 lucky goals against well-taken goals. 2 goals against Burnley. Admittedly, someone did make a comment saying, hold on a minute here. He was up against Sevilla, who've got one of the best defences in Europe. He was up against Newcastle, who've got one of the best defences in Europe. Wait until Sheffield United. Fulham. That's their next 2 fixtures. See what he does then. If he still looks like a player who barely looks like he's involved in the game, which admittedly happened last season, but more importantly, but not getting attacking returns, at that point it's, where's Harry Kane? At that point it genuinely is a question of, actually, I may have to get Salah in and jump on, in the case of what's in front of me, coincidentally with Firetog's team, Jackson, Visa and Alvarez. That may be the case. That may have to be the question. If he comes away in that Sheffield United game with a single goal and just look dejected and just doesn't look at it at all, and then against Fulham he gets a goal again and it's just near. But the likes of, Jackson, Watkins and so on, and Alvarez are getting in those double-digit score lines. At that point, it's got to get you thinking. But talking of that front three, links me beautifully into Firetog's team here. This is his wildcard team. Again, his strategy is he wants quality players on the bench, a bit like Alex Volo, to then play the fixtures, which again, fine. I just don't want to be hearing by game week 5, 6, 7, I fucked it. Because that's what happens with a lot of people. They try and be clever, even though the thought processes are right there. They speak more sense than Joe Rogan does. But it don't come through. It just doesn't happen because every single bloody week it's I bench Jota against Newcastle when I played Visa against Crystal Palace. Jota's just got a goal against Newcastle and Visa's done nothing. As a simple example. Again, this team isn't set. This team was just put on screen for the sake of it. So he'll be playing this whatever his bloody name is of Man City instead of, I'm assuming, a Stupinan. And he'll play Jota instead of Ward-Prowse. As a simple example. And it'll be a 3-4-3 with Jota, Foden, Mbeumo and Saka. Jackson, Visa and Haaland up top. Just fine. The problem is, though, is that you're then benching James Ward-Prowse and a Stupinan. And I reiterate this point. If a Stupinan gets another attacking return and you've got Chilwell there that gets another 1-pointer, you've then got James Ward-Prowse who scores a free kick, whereas Jota up against Newcastle does nothing. It just creates such horrible hate. Same as Alex Volo yesterday. I want to bring in a strong bench because then I can play the fixtures because I enjoy trying to work out who's got the better fixtures. I go on my predictions and all this data, blah, 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 which is great. That's brilliant. For me, too much of a headache. I'd rather just go, like I said last night, I want to attack the fixtures. I want to storm in to these fixtures and go, do you know what? To hell with it. Get those hits in now. Stuff it. I don't care. As I said on Lama's show last night, said to him last night, do a Jason. Get the hits out the way in the early part of the season. Rank doesn't matter. Rank does not matter. And tonight, I'm going to be closely watching Eze. And once again, if he's looking lively, but he gets nothing, I'm then in a quandary of thinking, as Craig used to do to me. Who's Craig? Someone I used to work with at Tesco. He was doing an impression of me, doing an impression of Gordon Ramsay. You. Come here. Then I've got to think tonight. I've got to ask myself, actually, the reason why Eze's chances aren't being put away because of the shite in front of him. Ayew's a waste of space. Edouard's a waste of space. Eze is looking fantastic. No goal threat, though. Assist potential, no goal threat. That's what I'm going to be looking for tonight. Has he got the goal threat? If Eze is pinging in shots on target, hitting the crossbar, the post, and he looks on absolute fire and he's creating things, at that point I accept it and go, do you know what? Something's coming. I've missed out on the Embuemo points. I've missed out on the tone point. They're fine. If he screws up tonight and he does fuck all, I am very, 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 very tempted by the wild card. And it will be a front three of Jackson, Haaland, Alvarez. It'll be a midfield four of Foden, Saka, Embuemo and Rashford. And then Eze becomes Sarr, thanks to Brew. Apparently this Sarr is some amazing player. Brew is saying, you must get him in. That's how Brew speaks. You there. You must bring in Sarr. Like Ian McKellen extras. Sarr, you will not pass. Brew, 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 Brew. How do I know to bring him in? When the fixtures change. How do I know when he'll score? I don't know. Now then, you'll be playing the fantasy football manager of Steve. You get the idea with that. Ridiculous. Absolutely mental. Edit that out. Can't. And then I'd have a back three of Chilwell, Estupiñán. Oh yeah, that was it. It wasn't Foden. It was going to be potentially Jackson, Haaland, Alvarez, Sterling, Saka, Sarr, Rashford, Buemo. And then in defence, I'd have Akanji slash Gvardiol slash Akanji, Estupiñán, Chilwell. And then in goal, even though I had a go at Natasha, I'd still go with Onana. In the words of Jason, you're a fake. You're a fraud. But I'd have to look at the goalkeeper situation in all seriousness. It may have to be the Tottenham goal. In fact, yeah, it may be the Tottenham goalkeeper now thinking about it out loud. There we are, Bilal. What did someone say yesterday? I'll do the Simpsons line. If anybody even understands this reference. Your FPL thoughts stink. Or more specifically, your thought process. Stop thinking about your own thought processes. This is the thing that's stopping you from gaining momentum. Is it? Why? Because I've just realised off the top of my head, actually, a player that looked impressive in the first game against Brentford, in the second game against Man United, and then he's got decent fixtures in the next 5 or 6 in the Tottenham goalkeeper. That's a bad thought process, isn't it? I would suggest actually Steve-O's onto the ball there. As David Brent does. I don't know where you store all of this information. I really do hope Dale's watching this. Because when I next see him, which will be up here for All In, AEW All In, I'm hoping he'll be able to do some David Brent impressions. Oh, God. But yeah, it's all boiling down tonight, and I reiterate this point when it comes to the history. May as well go for the history quickly, just to remind people of what the history has gone for. So I've said 2-1. Tight game between these two, but I do expect Arsenal with a better quality of player to pull through this. 2-1. History's going 3-1. Crystal Palace have only won once. Arsenal have won twice away. And on 4 occasions have scored. There has been 2 or more goals for a team. So really, it's kind of expecting goals in this. I personally want to... This is an unrealistic prediction. This is a selfish prediction which will not happen. Gabriel to score, Eze to score, Saka to blank, Martinelli to come through with attacking returns. That ain't going to be happening. Unfortunately, what I do think will happen is Eze to get an assist, Saka to blank, Martinelli to get something, and Gabriel to get a standard 2 points. If he plays, of course. Who knows? Yeah, anyway, thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoy this nonsense that me and Jason come out with, and you want to support the show, just simply hit the subscribe button. If you've enjoyed the video and just want to show your appreciation, hit the like button. And yeah, as ever, enjoy reading the comments, even though a lot of them are all horrible. Horrible comments. See you later.